Welcome to Smart Remarks. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night take these broken wings and fall like a stone. So if you've been watching the news, you've heard about the dead birds falling out of the sky, the dead fish washing up on the shore. It began the week before New Year's when more than 80,000 dead fish washed up in the Arkansas River. 2 days later on New Year's Eve in Beebe, Arkansas, thousands of blackbirds fell from the sky. News photos showed workers in environmental protection suits picking up the carcasses. It's not the kind of thing you want to look out your front window and see. A few days later, some 500 red-winged blackbirds and starlings were found dead on a rural road in Louisiana. The Audubon Society, as well as government officials, said, well, you know, there's really nothing unusual about this. Mass bird die-offs happen all the time. No big deal. That's comforting, or that might have been comforting if it weren't for the fact that at the same time, some 2 million dead fish have been washing up in the Chesapeake Bay very near here. Maryland officials are saying that this is probably because the water's a little colder than usual. Once again, nothing to worry about. Neither is the fact that in Port Orange, Florida, one of the biggest fish kills the locals have ever seen was also recorded last week. In Brazil, some 100 tons of sardines, croakers, and catfish have been washing up dead in fishing villages. And in New Zealand, there were, quote, dead fish as far as the eye can see, according to one resident. Thousands of snappers, some of whom had their eyes missing. Now, all of these incidents may be unrelated, and maybe it's silly to worry about them. That's certainly been the tone of much of the news coverage. Business Insider magazine talked about how there have always been mass bird kills, and, quote, there's nothing to worry about, folks. Then there was the New York Daily News chortling that, quote, some fear the end is near, and people are even talking about Nostradamus. What ninnies! The Atlantic Wire talked about a smattering of dead fish because, see, tens of thousands of dead fish, that's a smattering. I'd hate to see what they think a serious fish kill looks like. How foolish of us to worry about dead birds falling from the sky or dead fish washing up on shore. None of this could possibly be evidence that something's happening or something happened that we aren't being told about, right? But you may ask, if something was happening, do you trust that your government would tell you about it? I'm not saying that now is time for a tinfoil hat. These things do happen, and that there's been a cluster of them recently doesn't prove a thing. Maybe the way the media has picked up on this story and reported it has led people to believe that there's more to this than there actually is. Maybe it all is just a coincidence. But maybe it isn't. And rest assured that if it's not, you're still going to be told to move along here, folks, there's nothing to see. All I'm suggesting is that maybe you linger a while and ask a few pointed questions.
Terrified residents say it looked like a scene from Alfred Hitchcock's classic, The Birds.
What makes that happen? It was horrible. You could not even get down the road without running over hundreds.
When the chaos was over, at least 4,000 of the birds were dead from blunt force trauma.
They collided or were hit by something which caused hemorrhages or bleeding, internal bleeding and bruising.
Red-winged